Hi, my name is James Adam Tucker. For the past 35 years, I've been an actor, director, and editor right here in Hollywood. Today, I want to continue with this series of videos about micro budget and no budget feature films. The topic will be, how do I get a free location for my no budget film? So we've done this a lot over the years. I have a film production partner who lives on the East Coast, and he was a master of getting top quality locations for our micro budget films. Now, we had small budgets for these films, but nothing really to lay out for locations. But what he would do is he would exchange the promotional value of us using their location, this business location, as a location in our film. And it worked many times, over and over and over. So he did a wonderful job of that. And that happens a lot, and it can happen a lot when you're not here in Los Angeles. Los Angeles, being the film capital, is a hard time to get free locations, I have to be honest with you. I live in Pasadena, so I try, and I've succeeded many times here in Pasadena, but I've failed many times to get a free location, because we're so close to the heart of Los Angeles where people actually pay big money for locations. So over the years, I have chosen to shoot my films outside of the Los Angeles area. I have a brother who lives in Richmond. I have relatives who live in New York City. I have relatives who live in Georgia. But the majority of the low-budget films that I produced over my career have been in New Jersey and in the New York area. And again, most of those films were produced with my film production partner, Joshua Nelson. And he was a master of securing these locations, as I said earlier. But for you, if you're not in the Los Angeles area and you're planning to make a micro-budget or no-budget film, then again, I'm going to rehash a little bit of what I said before as I'm talking about this, but I'm going to focus more on getting these locations and securing these locations. So in small towns across the country, they don't have that much filmmaking going on. So if you have your script, you have your idea, hopefully you have maybe a prospectus or even just a summary and a log line of your story, and you have some samples of stuff you've done in the past, that can be a great benefit to you when you're trying to win over business owners, to show them that using your film as a tool to market their business is a viable possibility. Another thing you can offer them is that a lot of local press, and I'm talking about the small newspapers, maybe the small local television station, if you put together a press release and a media packet, you can get that business some local press in the area. Now, that will be valuable to the business because the business is mostly focusing on people who live in the area, people who live in the town, people who live in the city. And the business owner knows how much it costs to even advertise to his local potential clientele. So if your story can take place in their restaurant, their business, their store, whatever it is, it's a game room, a bar, any kind of business that will add production value to your film is what I would go after. You can try to set up a meeting with the owner. Sometimes this doesn't happen right away, but that's what you have to do. You have to meet with the owner. You can't take one of the employees' words for it that, oh yeah, come on in. You can shoot for an hour while the owner's not here. No, you don't want to do it that way. You want to be upfront and meet with the owner, meet with the manager first, and then maybe you'll have to meet with the owner to show them your project, to show them that you're taking this serious. And this is a serious production that could get distributed, can be on the streaming services. And don't blow it up and don't exaggerate how much publicity they will get. But focus on the local publicity that I can almost guarantee any local newspaper where you live, if you're doing a feature film or a TV pilot in their town using locations that they are familiar with, local businesses, they will want to write about that. They will want to maybe put just a small little paragraph. Sometimes they may even do a full story on you and the business. So that's something that can attract the business to letting you use their location as a resource. So you want to think this all through. You want to put together a small prospectus that may explain what you're going to do with the film, what your ideas are, and how you're going to portray their business in a positive light. That's one thing I want to mention too. No business owner is going to allow you to shoot there if you're talking bad about his business, or you're inferring something in the film that makes their business or their product or their service in a derogatory manner or a derogatory light. So you want to be upfront with what your film is about and how it will pertain to their business. A lot of times I always say, don't make the story about the business. The business is something that's going to give your film production value. So maybe one of the main characters could just work at the business. Maybe one of the minor characters could work at the business. Maybe one of the characters could buy things or do something with the business. But you don't want to portray the business in a negative light. That's a little bit more difficult. And it's not impossible either. So, but you want to be open, you want to be upfront, and you want to be honest. Because you don't want to get in trouble where you portray somebody's business in a negative light, and then when the film comes out, you got a lawsuit over your head. You don't want to deal with that as an independent, no-budget filmmaker. You don't have the resources or the time or the effort to try to fight lawyers, even if it's a small-town lawyer. You don't want to get into that situation. So be honest. Tell them what you plan to include in the film and how it connects to their business, their product, their service, and be on above board. But again, if you approach them in the right way and you are professional and you have some kind of prospectus, you have some kind of, and it can be something real simple. It could be flyers, it could be a portfolio to show the business, to show what you want to portray, and also explain how the business will be featured in your film or your television pilot. As a matter of fact, right now, I think I mentioned it in one of my other videos, I've been working with a local chiropractor here in Pasadena. And I've been developing a script. And this has been a long process. I've been developing the script. I've brought in some writers because my first draft I wasn't too happy with. So I had some writers come in and punch it up. And recently I worked with another writer who I met remotely. And we created a more detailed, what I call a skeleton of the film, so that we could plan it and spell it, expand it, and make it into a feature or potential television pilot. And as I developed it, it turned out really well. So I decided not to do this with no budget in hand. What I decided to do was step back for a moment and do something that I haven't done in years, raise some funding so I could do this project on a higher level. But again, it started out as a no budget idea where, I had a contact with a chiropractor who has a great, very production value location. And he was willing to let me shoot there. So I decided that I would do it, on the cheap, micro budget. But then as we continued to develop it and I continued to bring more writers in and I saw the potential for this idea, I feel really confident that this idea could be something good. So I kind of put it on the back shelf until I can raise a little bit of money and I can do this correct with a minimal crew and all the resources that I need behind the scenes to make it turn out higher than I had initially thought it would be. But again, it can be done for no budget films also. You just need to make the business owner aware of the value of using their property as a location in your film. Now, one of the things that the business owner may want to know is how prominent will his business be. Now, you can also have the possibility of actually using the real business name in your product, in your film, your pilot or your no budget feature. So it's up to the business owner. Once you have, most of the time what they'll want to see is the final script or even a working draft of the script so they can feel comfortable that, again, you're not portraying their business in a negative light. You don't want to do that. And also you don't want them as a censor, but you want to be sensitive to, them allowing you to use their location is not going to hurt their business, because that's the bottom line. The business owner is doing this to gain positive publicity, not negative. So again, you don't want to approach someone where you're, talking bad about their business or their service that they offer, or you're putting down the whole industry, whatever it is. You don't want to make a infomercial for their business, but you're going to portray their business in a positive light, and you're definitely not going to portray it in a negative light. So again, find businesses, focus on those that you may be interested in, and try to approach them. Sometimes the easiest way to approach them is to talk to an employee first and see if you can get a meeting with the owner. Sometimes a lot of times small businesses are run by the owner. The owner is there. So you'll come in and, you'll have a business card. You're going to have some kind of information to prove that you are serious. And this is not just some kind of wacky idea that you have. You need something in writing that they can look at. You're going to need some kind of web presence, even if it shows work that you've done in the past, just to prove that you are serious and what you're showing them is something that you can really do, and it will come to fruition. It will come to life. It will be actually made into a project. So, and you want them to know that you have the background and the skill and the talent level to do it. So you want to put together some kind of media package. It doesn't have to be anything extravagant. It doesn't have to be anything printed up. Nowadays, you can go on Canva and put together a nice portfolio to showcase the idea with the characters, a summary, logline, synopsis of the story. And you can even you don't even have to attach a working copy of the script until you know that they're interested. But you want at least to have a summary of what the story is about, maybe a good log line or elevator pitch, as they call it. But you want to have something in writing, something in print. It can be simple as a PDF that you can email to them. But again, it's something that is easier done outside of maybe Atlanta, or easier done outside of California, because a lot of cities and towns would love to have that productions shot in their area, especially potential television series, which could be picked up. It's not an impossibility that you could do a pilot and that pilot could later get picked up by, a bigger company. You could sell the idea. Idea could be bought from you, or you could get funding to continue to make episodes. So nothing is out of, it's impossible nowadays. Because I've seen stories that, blow me away, where people get deals just from small productions, from small trailers, and that's still a possibility. It's still a possibility these days. But again, the reason you would look for a business or company or some kind of service, something that will add production value to your project, to your feature film, even a short film, or to a television pilot. So again, it's not impossible, and it's something that you want to look into at the very early stages, because you don't want to have the script written and then you're struggling to find something that's out of your reach, that's impossible to get. You want to start this at the very beginning when you're thinking about, okay, what could I do? What are my resources for a no budget production? In some of my earlier videos that I have, you will see about coming up with that idea, developing the story, and not starting your script until you know what the locations are going to be, what locations you have access to, and write around those locations. Again, this is something that I've done many times in the past, and it's something that can be done to this day, and it's still used by independent and no-budget filmmakers. So think about it, be prepared, put together some documentation to show that you're a professional and you're taking this seriously before you approach business owners. Even if you have a personal connection with them, it will go a long way to have something professional looking, hard copy that you can give to them, they can look at, and they can consider your idea seriously. And they'll know that you're serious, and they will take your pitch to them more serious, and think that the value they will get by allowing you to use their location in your project is something that they will want to consider seriously. So again, thank you, and I'll see you on the next one.